Hello, Jeff Danskin speaking. I've got a prophecy update for you that I wanted to share with you today. And that update is a prophecy that was given by both Isaiah and Jeremiah 2,700 years ago. And it was a prophecy about the destruction of the city of Damascus in the country of Syria. You might recall Damascus is the city where Paul was headed to when he was struck down by Jesus and had a visitation by Jesus where Jesus blinded him for 3 days. It's always been a significant city in Bible times, but even toward the last days, it's supposed to be a significant city. Now, I think it's happening right now. Current events are rolling over that make this particular event taking place as we speak. If you've been listening to the news, you will realize that there's been bombs. Israel has been bombing Damascus over the last 6 weeks. And they have not done it to the capacity that is prophesied by them. But in 2005, I went to Israel. And while I was in Israel, we visited a place called the Golan Heights. And on your map, it's right here. They have a dotted line. Whoever created this map was biased against Israel. And let me tell you why. This is colored with the same color as Syria, but it doesn't belong to Syria. It was won by Israel in the 6-day war. They have a little caveat down here that says Golan Heights, Israel occupied. Well, it's not occupied by Israel. It's owned by Israel. That would be like looking at a map of the United States and it's saying West Indies currently occupied by the Americans. No, we're not occupying it. We are living here. So whoever put this map together was actually biased against Israel. They still have not accepted the fact that this belongs to Israel. Now in 2005, when I was there, it was a strategic military place. It blocked off the capability for Hezbollah to launch rockets right here into Israel. If you look at this, you're overlooking all of Israel and the Sea of Galilee. Right here, here's a picture of the Golan Heights looking down on the Sea of Galilee. So not only is it beautiful from a viewpoint, but it's a strategic military spot. But that was in 2005. Since then, it has become even more valuable because they found large quantities of natural gas and oil. Now, if you've been listening to your TV over the last 3 years, you will know that Syria is in a state of complete shambles. Syria is ruled by King Assad or something like that, Assad, and he's basically, hiding in his castle. He's not in control of anything. Russia has they've got 50,000 troops out there, and Russia basically occupies all this area. They control all these borders, and Russia, they really like access to the Mediterranean Sea. And the United States, we have 2,000 troops up in this area here. During the President Obama administration, we sent 2,000 troops there, and that is to fight ISIS. And we were there in basically a consulting capacity. In other words, we would provide air support and also intel as to where ISIS was. And Kurdish rebels are the ones that actually go door to door and fight out ISIS. Now, ISIS has almost been completely destroyed. So about a month ago, as I'm giving this is February the 12th, and about a month ago, President Trump said, hey, we've almost got rid of ISIS, we're going to pull our troops out. Now, this is really bad news for Israel, because if the Americans pull out, and you have 50,000 Russian troops here, there's not much to stop them from going in. And over the last 6 weeks, they've been bringing in equipment here, Hamas has in Iran, so that they can begin an invasion. It's an invasion that you've probably heard someone talk about, the Gog and Magog war. That's a war where Russia, Turkey, and Iran will come against Israel, and God will supernaturally be victorious for Israel in that battle. So why would we even care over here in America about the city out here, what happens to it? Well, the reason it is because this could be the domino that starts the effect of the last 7 years. So let's look at this possible scenario. If Israel bombs Damascus, completely wipes it out, and Russia, who has all the military equipment, responds and starts bombing Israel, at some point there's going to be a ceasefire. Let's pretend that there's a ceasefire and they have a treaty over the destruction of the city of Damascus. Well, the last 7 years starts by a renewed treaty, a renewed covenant. So if the initial treaty is the ceasefire between Israel and Russia, and the renewed treaty is a ceasefire between Israel, Russia, Turkey, and Iran, that means that we've only got 7 years left before Jesus returns. Amen? It's kind of exciting times that we live in, and it's happening as we are here on this earth. It's a wonderful time to live. So when you hear in the news things going on in Damascus and Syria and Israel bombing it, know that it is important. Amen? God bless.